So let's walk through a new AI type of template, convert PDF to Markdown. Um, what this does is quite straightforward. It takes as a source any file that you have in OneLake. This could be a binary file that is a structured document, so a PDF, an Excel file, or a Word document are the typical things. And this is something that we want to do document intelligence or LLM on eventually, right? But at this point, we just want to convert it to Markdown so it's in a common format that we can pass on to sort of Gen AI, right? So what we're going to do is going to read from the source, transform by using Azure document intelligence. Now, there are other ways to transform to Markdown, like Python libraries and stuff like that, and you can certainly swap out the code for one of those local libraries. But the Azure OpenAI document intelligence has some more sophisticated functions in how it handles images, tables, and the more complex aspects of sort of documents. So we find at the enterprise level, this is a little bit more featured. But if you do have a preferred library, you can use that instead. And then it's going to output it back to OneLake into Markdown files. Okay, so that's really the goal. It's just a conversion. Parameter wise, it takes very similar parameters to a lot of the other templates. We put the directory where the files are on the OneLake, a file mask if we want to delete them after we've finished processing them. And then how to connect. So we're going to have to give it a secret, i.e., the API key for the document intelligence endpoint. Okay, and then where we want to output it to in terms of the directory. There's an advanced setting called the split marker, where imagine we've got a 100-page PDF that has 30 different sub-documents inside it. We can at this point automatically split it into those 30 documents. Okay, now let's just to a demo. So here I have just drag this on screen. Here's a copy of the notebook, convert PDF Markdown. As you can see, the first parameter block that it runs is just going to install the required Python libraries. The next one is where all the parameters are going to be. So this is just a unit test where I've hard coded them, but obviously when it runs in production, the metadata framework is going to pass these parameters automatically. Okay, so I'm going to run that. This is then the code that contains the functions, and this is the actual block that does the conversion to Markdown. Key thing is it's going to loop over the files here, and then it's going to call the API to effectively the document intelligence clients to convert it to Markdown. Okay. Now you can also use this kind of library to extract information if you change the kind of template there as well. So that's run already. Took it 14 seconds. And if we go to Storage Explorer, let's bring up Storage Explorer here, we would see there's my input. So you can see here AI invoices PDF. I think I told it the Markdown folder is going to be here. Just to show you what Markdown kind of looks like, if you hadn't seen it before, I'm going to just open up one of the Markdowns and it should open it up in Visual Studio Code or something like that, just to show you the Markdown. So my invoice is now in text, but with the kind of table of the invoices in HTML, and it will tell me all the other information on the document. Okay. Now that's a unit test. To register that within metadata, then is fairly simple. All we would do is we would insert an extra package group if we wanted to have a group of enumeration, and then a configuration endpoint that describes it. So obviously dev and prod could have different ones. So here I've created an endpoint called document intelligence in the configurations table. Okay. Then in the pipelines table, and optionally the pipeline group, if there was a few of them, right? I then put all the settings. So what is the name for it? What kind of sequence is it going to run at? What connection is it going to use? And then all the parameters. So here's source, target, and the name of the template. Okay, so that's that. When that runs, I can run this to see all of the parameters. That looks good. And I can now run that via automation. So just to show you that running via automation, I can go to my pipeline controller or worker, right? I'm just going to go to the worker because it's just one of them. There's no need to run a full job. Now, obviously, I would usually kind of schedule this on a trigger or on a or something like that. But in this case, I'm just going to tell it just run that one. So this is now going to read the settings from the kind of metadata, which is what the stored procedure call is going to retrieve those, log the start in the log table. The switch statement is going to dynamically select which notebook to execute. Obviously, it's going to execute the brand kind of new one. And then once it's finished, it's going to log the results to a custom log table. This is exactly how the framework works for effectively invoking any template. So let's just wait for that to finish. That's actually finished now. It took it 54 seconds on the notebook run. And when I go to the Storage Explorer, I can see here's my notebooks that were kind of generated just now, and here's my Markdown files and my original PDF files are there. And if I had told it, it would have moved the PDF into the process folder when it had finished. Okay, good luck, and I hope you enjoy that new template.